So let's now go ahead and implement the requirements for this training module together. So here is my directory website, which I have been building out at the end of every single training module. And so to start things off, let's go ahead and download and install the Paragraphs module. So to do that, let me open up Terminal and I will download Paragraphs using Composer. So I'll type in Composer require Drupal/paragraphs. Okay, so now that Paragraphs has been downloaded, let's jump back into the Drupal site and then go to Extend. And then if I search for Paragraphs, I will check the Paragraphs module and then just click on Install. And then I'll just click on Continue. Okay, so now that we have everything set up, let's go ahead and create our first paragraph type. So go to Structure, then Paragraph Types, and then click on Add Paragraph Type. And I'll enter in FAQ item, because remember, we need to create the FAQ item paragraph type first. And then I'll click on Save and Manage Fields. And on this paragraph type, we need two fields, question and answer. So I'll click on Add Field. And then from the Add a New Field dropdown, I will scroll down to the bottom and select Text Plain. And this will be our question. And then I'll click on Save and Continue. And I'll leave everything as it is. And then I'll click on Add Field again. And from the Add a New Field dropdown, I will select Text Formatted Long. Here it is. And the label for this field will be Answer. And just leave everything as it is and then click on Save Settings. Now let's jump into the Manage Fields section for this paragraph type. And let's change the label on the question field to inline, and let's hide the label for answer. So we can do so just by clicking on the label dropdown and then selecting hidden, and then click on save. Now let's go ahead and create the actual FAQ paragraph type. So let's go back to paragraph types and then click on add paragraph type, and this time enter in FAQ into the label and then click on save and manage fields. And then click on Add Field. And let's go ahead and create the title field. So click on Add a New Field dropdown and then select Text Plain and then enter in title as the label and then click on Save and Continue and then just leave everything as it is. And then click on Add Field again and then click on Add a New Field dropdown, and this time select Paragraph under Reference Revisions. And then in the label field, enter in FAQ items. And then click on Save and Continue. And here you can control how many FAQ items you want in the FAQ. I'll leave it at unlimited because I want to allow an unlimited amount of FAQ items. So click on Save Field Settings, and then from the Reference Type section, select FAQ item, and then make sure you check include the selected below in which paragraph types should be allowed. This means that the FAQ item paragraph type will only be available in this paragraph field. And then click on Save Settings, and then click on Manage Form Display, and let's configure the Paragraphs widget. So from the widget dropdown, select Paragraphs Experimental, and then click on the cogwheel, and let's change the edit mode to Closed Show Nested, and then scroll down and click on Update. And then let's jump over to Manage Display, and let's hide the label on both fields, and then scroll down and click on Save. So now at this point, we have created both paragraph types, FAQ item, which will have the actual question and answer. And then we have FAQ, which will simply group the FAQ items. Now what we need to do is create a paragraphs field on the listing content type to allow contributors to create FAQs. So click on Structure in the admin toolbar and then select Content Types and then click on Manage Fields on the listing row, then Add Field, and then from the Add a New Field drop-down, select Paragraph, and I'll call this paragraph field just Paragraphs, but again, you can call it whatever you want, and then click on Save and Continue, and then leave everything as it is, and then scroll down, and this time select FAQ from the Paragraph Types section, and then click on Save Settings, and now click on Manage Form Display, and then let's change the Paragraphs widget to Experimental, and then let's configure the widget and select Closed Show Nested as the edit mode, and then scroll down and click on Update, and then click on Save, and then click on Manage Display, and then let's go to Full Content, and let's add the Paragraphs field because you can see that it's disabled by default. Let's move the field below body, and then we'll hide the label, and let's select Rendered Entity as the formatter, and then click on Save right down at the bottom. Okay, so now we have configured everything. Let's test it out. So what I'll do is I'll go to Content, and then I'll click on a listing. So this Test Company 2 listing. And what I'll do is I'll click on Edit. And now if I scroll down to the bottom, I can see the Paragraphs field with the Add FAQ button. And then if I click on that, I can create now an FAQ with my FAQ items. So let me go ahead and add in a title. And I'll call this one Drupal Questions. And the first question will be, is Drupal easy to learn? Yes, it is. And then I'll add in another FAQ item. Is Drupal cheap? Yes, it's free. And then I'll scroll down and click on Save. And then now if we go to our test page, you can see the FAQ right here. And now other contributors can go and create FAQs in their own listings.